Guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to the video. Today we're going to do a quick video. This video is just going to show you how you can easily set the white balance, and true to the spirit of this channel, I will be experimenting. I don't know what the answer is to this, but I'm pretty sure that there might be an easy way to do this. So we're going to set the white balance on the pictures we're going to take here in three different ways. The fanciest way is I have this color checker here. I'm going to use the color checker. It is accurate, I think, on the gray and the white panels, but this is actually made specifically for coloring and balancing, so this would be a good option. I am going to use a white piece of paper. Thank you, Marcus. He showed me how to do this. Want to see if that lines up the same. And we also have a little gray card in one of these containers here. This gray card does a good job with balancing white balance, and we are also going to use the eyeball and to see if you're in a pinch, if that will do a pretty good job too. So stick around and let's go through this real quick and see what you need to get an accurate white balance. All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to take a look at a few pictures and just see what we see in terms of the accuracy of the white balance. These were all taken at a daylight white balance. And all of these should be reasonable options for setting the white balance, and we'll see how accurate they are. So out of camera, everything is at 5100. On this color checker, the third one down, I believe, is the one that they want you to use. So let's check that out. So it's currently 5100. Now you get 5150, so pretty close. We'll try this one. 5050, so 100 off. And down to 5,000 for the white. So say we use this, yeah, see, it brought it back to 5100. So the third one is almost exactly 5100. That would make sense. I was using a daylight balanced light, just knocking it off the wall and back to it, just a reflector, no diffusion or anything in the room to take these pictures with. So the 5100 would make sense. So if you wanted to use this, you could use this. And the only thing about it is it's a little unwieldy to carry this thing around, is one of the reasons why I don't carry it with me everywhere that I go. And I like having other options that I can use for it. In my experience, having something that's 100 or 200 off, I mean, it's barely discernible. It's hard to tell. Usually what you just want to avoid is being, at 7,000 when you need to be 3,000, that kind of thing. So if we're within 100 or even 200, something like that, I'd say all of these are negligibly different unless you need so truly accurate measurements. And then you probably want something like this color checker that also has the color chart part in it. I'll do a separate review on that later, but it basically allows you to replicate accurate colors in not just getting your white balance right. So the second one here, a white piece of paper. Again, thank you, Marcus. He turned me on to this, so let's try that, see how accurate it is. And again, we're at 5100. So looks like this white piece of paper gives an accurate measurement when you compare it to something like the color checker, which costs 50 bucks, and there's $100, $200 versions of them to basically do the same thing. So now we've got the white piece of paper. It matches up almost identically. Let's look at, so this is just the white part of my gray card. So that's the gray card, the one part, and then there's a reflector on it. So I was just curious what this would look like. I'll just go like right about here, 5,200. So I'd say close enough. For most people, it's not going to make much of a difference. You could use this, and then you also have a nice little reflector that you can use for under your chin if you need it for portrait lighting. So you could definitely use the white part of that. Close enough, I would say. And we'll use a gray part towards the middle, 5150. So the gray card does a good job with that as well. And I'll also show you one of the nice things about having the gray card, though, is that you can use it for exposure. Again, this is something I learned from Marcus Picks. For at least this is a ZVE10, and the ZVE10, essentially, if you get your histogram about dead set in the middle, that's about correct exposure. So one thing that you could do after the fact, if you had a gray card here and you wanted to double check your exposure, is I'm just going to crop this a little bit. I'm going to make a little square here. And you see my histogram here. It's just about in the middle. I take my exposure, get it just about dead set. And once I did that, I mean, it's only adjusting this area for me, but it basically shows me that on the picture as a whole, I need to probably be at about 0.55 to have a perfect exposure for it. So, so I can, and once I hit enter, it's going to just be zoomed in on that, but I can undo that. And then I can undo the crop. I'm back here, and you know, that's about a perfect exposure. So that's one nice thing to have. You can use your gray card for exposure, and you can also use it for your white balance. But the downside is every camera is a little bit different. So you may, if you've got access to a light meter, get perfect exposure with a light meter, and and then find out where on the gray card you would need to be to do that. Or you know, you're probably pretty close if you get it in the middle. Just know that different cameras and lenses, it's not always going to be dead set in the middle. It may be a little bit high or a little bit low with that. Okay, so anyway, so we've tried all these. They're all pretty accurate. Now, what I want to do is try it with, I've been in these situations where I'm stuck with nothing, and I've used eyeballs before, and see, it definitely seemed to help, but I'm not sure how accurate it is. So let's try. So I'm going to use this part of my eyeball, 4,500. So not as accurate as I would have liked. Yeah, now it says 4,300. Okay, well, that's good to know. So you don't really want to use your eyeball for it. It might be way off. I mean, I don't know if it's consistently, you know, you always jack it up 1,000 and that's about right. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing it's just not a very accurate thing. It'd be interesting though to just see. I mean, anybody could have like a little, you know, white piece of paper, you know, on them, but I mean, I guess you could do that for testing, but I don't think you'd want to do that with a model. But it's interesting that just even if you just had a way to like incorporate in every picture just a little square white piece of paper, you could have uh, perfect white balance every time. I wonder. So yeah, that's about 95. So you could probably use this piece of paper in the same way. Like right now, we're at about a 95 here out of if you're using it, I'm using it as a percentage basis now, not the number, but if you're in your Lightroom and you've got a white piece of paper, and that's at about 95, then you know that's about the right exposure as well. So you could always use that. If you look at the histogram up here, you'll see all the white, and is it Neil Van Kirk, the guy that does the black foamy thing? He taught me this one, is that if you check your exposure and you just have something white here, you want it just at the edge before it goes off of the page here. So if you have it just at the edge up here, chances are it's right. Or you can just look at your white piece of paper and get it on 95, or you can go like this, and if you don't have it as a percentage, you're at about 242, something like that. So basically just outside of clipping for the white piece of paper, and that's going to be about the right exposure. So you could use a white piece of paper for your exposure, as well as your white balance. And you know, these gray cards are nice because they just, you know, they pop out. You can keep them with you. You don't have to worry about I mean, a white piece of paper could get messed up in your pocket or you lose it, whatever. It's kind of nice having the gray card, but essentially I think what I'm getting out of this is you could use a gray card for the same thing that you could use a white piece of paper for. So if you're ever in a pinch, try to get a piece of copier paper and you should be good to go. And obviously, if you want to do something more with colors, then you get the passport. What's nice about that is you basically, once that's in the shot, you basically create like this preset in Lightroom for every lighting condition. So once you do it, everything that you do in that area, you import basically the pictures, and it'll apply essentially a preset that it builds to give you true colors with it. I'll do a separate deal on that later. But if you're like, I mean, I'm colorblind, so a lot of times it would be nice to just have accurate colors right out of camera, not having to worry about I'm messing with sliders and different things and messing it up. But then, of course, when you start adding your own presets and stuff to it, it's going to mess it back up again. So it's one of those things. But if you want it true to life, there's an easy way to do it. It'll just cost you a little bit of money. So anyway, I guess I won't ramble too long. That's my takeaway is that for white balance, it looks like white piece of paper will do a good job. It'll also help you in terms of your exposures, as will the gray card. And yeah, they're all very reasonable options within a 100 or 200 of each other of setting white balance, and that makes very little difference. Here, I'll just show you. So if I go from 5100 to 50, like say even 57, I got 51, 54. I mean, these are all minor. Sometimes I will do this on purpose. You may want a little bit warmer white balance. It gives a more sunny kind of afternoon vibe to it. So, I mean, 100 or 200 is close enough for it to be good. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. You guys can basically use a white piece of paper to set your white balance. It is a good solution. Thank you, Marcus. And you got a few other options for how to do it too if you want to. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you, all that stuff. Have a good day.